So Sean Wadsworth calling the August 8th Planning Board meeting to order at 6:35. And I'm also the secretary, so it takes a little bit of just time for me to keep up with myself. Not that there's all that much. So I did not get the agenda out tonight. Really, we have two items on the agenda. First being Mr. Fraggio's site plan review, and then a voting on Jim Rines from Horizons Engineering. We'll get to that secondarily. And we'll get the minutes later. So, you just reviewed it. Curtis, when you're done reviewing it, we'll have a vote to accept the application.
I'll make a motion to accept the application for site plan review as complete.
I'll second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, with the application accepted as complete, we can now go into public hearing. So I'm gonna open the public hearing at 6:38. In attendance, we have Mr. Fraggio, and also Gary and Minda Fowler, abutters. And I also received a call from Rick Highland, another abutter.
Mm-hmm.
He said he doesn't have any problems with it and wishes you well with your business.
Okay, great, thank you.
So first, Gary and Minda, if you want to look through what the plan is here, I can pass this to you. Pertinent stuff is the layout. And
I got a picture of the.
oh, good, yeah.
If you want.
If you want to pass that to them, and I'll get it up on the screen too.
Is there a bigger one that says where it is? Is this the one that's right on the corner of our lot, do you know?
Across from White Ledge. Across from White Ledge Campground.
Or is this like
The one that burned
It's
down.
the existing building,
okay.
yeah.
The building that's
That-
partially built?
Last thing was in there was a
No.
motorcycle
There's a
place?
building that's
Yes.
partially built.
It's the one right on the corner
It's a
of
pole
our
barn,
lot.
yeah, in the back, that the roof collapsed on.
Thank you.
But where the concrete, where the foundation, the foundation was, where the building burned down, just so it's the same spot, same area,
What are you doing?
building an office complex.
The
Oh, that's
office
good.
complex?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I don't look at it.
Oh,
I don't have questions. No, it's
I
just.
thought that he had probably given you more, so.
Where's this one?
for questions or that kind of thing.
Are we in the public meeting now?
Yes.
The public hearing is,
We're in the public.
this is the public hearing.
Yeah. So where's the septic system located
It's,
to the property line?
it's on the left side of the
I
property.
see that.
Yeah.
As close, give me feet to the
Uh,
property line.
From the property line, do I have it in there?
Well, we've got it from the road, so it's probably, if it's
Yeah.
60 from the road, it's about 40 from
40 feet from the property line?
It's the existing septic?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You're gonna put a business
That's-
in with an existing
That's just the
old
field over
existing
there.
septic
As long as it's not failing,
path?
it continues.
Yeah.
And what was it licensed for before, for the amount that it could handle?
I don't know, but it's,
That would probably be something you might wanna know, I'm guessing, because if you're gonna have a business there, you're gonna have to know what your flow out is gonna be.
Right,
to be able
right,
to handle
right.
the
Yeah.
septic.
Yeah,
Am I correct?
yeah. So, we're being a little informal here, but I'm gonna draw it to the formal side of things. All questions should be addressed
Oh,
to me, and then I'll field things back and
Okay.
forth.
So if there's an old septic system
Mhm.
that's been there for 20 years,
Yep.
is it gonna be able to handle the amount of customer base that's going to be going in and out of this building? It's already, I'm guessing, 20 years old, and it's right close to the property line, which is also close to the stream that passes through, that comes down from Mount Chicora,
But
am I
the-
correct?
Yep.
sorry.
Okay, so, what's it?
a long question.
Yeah, I'm just I'm entering it in.
I
and
mean,
then
it's
we'll
just
see.
something that needs to be thought about.
Hmm?
I'll give this one back to him, or you want to continue?
Fine with that.
No, we can- yeah, we'll go back.
It's only for that.
More than that.
I got 500 gallons at my house.
So Kathy, you had something?
It's approved for 500 gallons per day. It is a grandfathered system. As long as it's not failing, it continues. We cannot force him to create a new septic according to today's,
So,
as long as that
when
is
was the
not.
last, excuse me, Mr. Chairperson?
Yeah. Hold a moment,
Okay.
please. Okay, thank you
Well,
for waiting.
That's right. When was the last time it was tested or looked at or used?
Does this?
That's not up to the town to go in and inspect.
But somebody in the town must.
Yeah, that's a state-
No.
yeah.
The state
Not
of New
unless it was
Hampshire deals with that, and they don't deal with that
Only if it
unless
was
it's
failing.
So it's not really even our.
So it hasn't, can somebody tell me the last time it was used?
Probably
When did the building burn down?
2018, 19?
But as an owner, I'm gonna be able to make sure that everything's running right.
Yep, just address.
Sorry.
Thank you.
But as the owner, I'm gonna be able to make sure that everything's running right. You
Yeah.
know, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So can I ask another question?
Yeah,
Okay.
just a moment.
That one, the gentleman they gave us.
This one, it's yeah, yes, that put back up.
So I'm just writing in your question previous that you asked when is the last time the septic was used. Kathy Golding estimated 2000 and
It's either 18, 19.
say 2018.
I would say 18, but I can't confirm that.
Was when the previous business on Field Drive burned down. Mrs. Fowler, you had a second question?
Yeah, I do. What is the business?
That's a good question. What is the business? Mr. Peugeot, would you speak to what your
Construction
business is?
business.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an office for my business.
So it's not, you're not renting it out to other people, sorry. It would be easy if we just talked to them.
It would be easier, but protocol, you know. And I can show you the plans up on the screen if that would help, that Mr. Peugeot
See
sent.
that?
So I think this was, let's see, slab. Yep. Sorry, I can zoom in a bit. Slab foundation, the existing foundation. And Mr. Peugeot, just correct me if I'm wrong on anything here. Ground floor with office space, conference room, storage space, and a bath. Bath on each side of this wall, of storage plus a bath. And then on the second floor, office with bathrooms in the center, hallways and stairs. So fairly straightforward. Layout, it's on the existing foundation. Just the plan views. This is the rafters, is that?
Floor system, I think.
Oh,
The floor system, yeah.
Oh, the flaming floor plan.
There's the rafters,
Yeah. Cross section and what else we got here? Oh, the windows and the doors specified. Office building.
Stick built?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to enter in the response to your question about the septic that Mr. Peugeot stated that as the business owner, you'll be monitoring it and if something is going wrong,
Correct.
you want to put it in your words and I'll type it in.
Basically, if we're gonna make sure that it's working, once we get it all hooked up again, it's actually a pump system. The tank is actually beside the foundation, so the field is towards the left side where you just see the field, and the tank is behind the existing building. So we're gonna make sure that everything is correct, so it's pumping the right way and it's getting done.
So it's pumped from the building to the field. Is that what you're...
Yes, yeah. That's what the old building used to look like.
Yes.
Okay. Board, do you have any
I
other
have
comments
no
regarding
questions.
septic? Gary and Minda? Yes, Gary?
Yeah, but why does this require a public hearing and not just he gets a building permit?
Great question. It's in the town ordinances that commercial development that is a change of use, whenever
Change
there's
of
a change
use.
of use,
Okay, change of
that it
use.
comes to the planning board, and the process is called site plan review.
Yes,
So that is the application. The applicant has to submit the application, a whole checklist of things, and notify abutters as part of the
Yes.
process. Have notification in the local paper, Conway Daily Sun.
well, I understand all that, and that was just,
Yeah.
one- so it's
And then the
basically-
public hearing to
basically
allow
a change of
for
use.
comment.
Yeah.
And then, are you planning, the applicant planning on renting out offices, or is this all for you? Because it kind of looks like in the plans, it's got 2 entrances and such.
Yes,
Well, I'm
for
thinking
fire,
it's
for
probably-
fire egress and all that, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, I got the design team gonna get up there and hopefully expand,
okay.
so.
Yeah.
Looking for future expansion, so it's there.
And then one last question for me when you're ready. At least I think one last one.
So you're not planning to rent, you're just hoping to expand your own personal business?
Yes, yes.
I'll put this back up.
I mean, I can probably lease some of it, can I? If I want,
That is a good question. I think that would be a change of
I
use.
think you'd have to come either before the board, depending on what it was. I'm sorry, Sean.
No, I'm deferring.
You'd have to come before the board again, or it might have to go through the zoning board of adjustment.
okay,
Not saying absolutely not, but
yeah,
you would
yeah,
have to comply with
yeah.
certain.
So if I didn't want to
parameters.
rent it out, I'd have to come back?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay,
That would be another change of use.
okay.
Yeah.
Even in the same building, even though it's the same building. So it'd be.
I believe so. I believe so.
Thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
I mean, you're in a commercial area, so I would think that
Mm.
if that is the case, it would be as much of a formality as it is anything.
Yes.
You know, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Not prohibited for us.
Unless he's gonna put in a brewery.
So, yeah. So, the ordinances really are just saying meet the setbacks, meet the state and local requirements like septic and fire access. And if you meet all the requirements,
Permitted uses.
and you're a permitted use in the appropriate zone, which is the commercial zone, then you can't really say, planning board can't say no, for sure. Neighbors and abutters can voice their opinions, but if it meets all the criteria,
Yeah.
and there's nothing in our ordinances that I know of that prohibits breweries or much of anything else, honestly. There's actually very little that's
I'm
prohibited.
just throwing
Yeah.
it out there.
Well, just,
Yeah.
it's good to know, right?
Really would
It's
be a
good
good
to
thing
know.
to pull off.
Definitely know that. It's basically in 7 to 5. It's gonna be closed. It won't be open at night. So it's gonna be during business days only.
Business hours up.
Business hours, unless we gotta go in there and fix something,
Yeah.
But basically, yeah.
Okay.
So yes, possibly lease upstairs. You're probably gonna need some property income.
I mean, it doesn't, I guess it depends on what you rent it for, Or I would think that would be it. It would,
I'm looking like a realtor office, something,
Kind of along the same lines as.
Yeah, the business. I have a design guy.
business,
Yeah, my design guy wants an
In-
office
in
space.
Albany, they have to
I
go
got a
through the
realtor
site
friend that
plan.
wants to be a
Yeah.
realtor.
Just because they
So,
rent it,
and I-
they would have to
again-
go through it, not him,
Business hours only.
right? because they're creating the business,
Business hours only.
right?
Yeah,
That makes
because
sense.
if it's a rent, I would have to check.
The business to begin within Albany doesn't fall within his business.
Right.
They'd have to go through the site plan review. It's not a home occupation.
But if the
it's not a home
business itself, as the way he's building it, is if that's gonna be planned at this time,
It's not.
but what would it take for it to be approved like that?
Maybe if you knew what business
I
was
mean, if
moving
you're
in.
4 hours and he wants to rent one out, it's in the commercial district. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm,
I do.
I do.
It's being presented right now as a one business office space.
Okay.
So
With potential lease, so,
Yeah.
and you might wanna put that down. And when the time comes, I'll come in
Yep.
and just,
I honestly don't think it would have to do with you other than you're renting it out. I think it would have to do with the business owner moving in, saying, I'm starting a business at this residence, and I have permission from the
Right.
property owner.
right.
mhm.
That's my thoughts anyways.
That's true. A new business taking space.
Think about a new
in
business, just
commercial.
because they're
Right.
renting, what difference does that make?
Right, they'd have to come to,
It's not a home business, it's not a home occupation, so we're gonna go through the ZBA.
right, it's a business independent of your business, is what you're talking about, yes. So that business would need to come in.
I don't think our ordinances would prohibit you from renting it out.
Yeah.
But as a new business, I think it would have to come in for a site plan review to say, yes, I can operate as a business within Albany. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so you could look at parking, things like that.
Sure, right,
Signage.
right.
Yeah, so. I don't think it's a big deal.
I don't either.
Yeah. When the time comes, I'll come in and we'll say, hey, okay, I got a realtor here, she wants to set up, you know, she's got an office upstairs. My design guy, hey, I want to, Route 16, nice view,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I can expand my horizon, you know, good location, so, and, so I basically want him to work with me anyway, so, that, yeah, so.
Yeah, so, yeah, here what I just wrote is, I wrote Fowler. Gary Fowler asked if the business plans to rent out space. Mr. Peugeot hopes to expand his own business to occupy the entire space. He mentioned the possibility of renting out some of the office space in the future. Kathy Golding stated that any new business that may want to lease the space in the future would need to come to the planning board for site plan review. Sound reasonable to everybody? Okay. Yes?
Yes, where do you get your septic is here, where do you get your water from?
Water's a well, if this, see where the location of the well, there's already an existing well there,
Okay,
so,
so you have a well on that property?
yes.
Okay.
So the person that was gonna purchase this property a year ago, which is a friend of a friend, they actually tested, they said it was running, so, but it's been a year and a half, so again, I will do the same thing,
The well, yeah.
yeah, and double check everything.
Well,
And make sure everything's running in order.
I ask because there's a well on our property that used to feed the house that was there. So you've since put in a different
Yeah.
well, okay?
Are you guys on the, as you're facing the property, are you on the left side?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you got a lot of property back there, yes.
And all behind you.
Well, they keep shrinking it on me, but
Yeah.
it's
Talk about that.
another time.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further comment, questions?
I also wish you the best, sir.
Thank you, I appreciate that, yeah.
So I would be in favor.
And if you're willing to sell some of your property, I might be interested.
Okay. Okay. Nothing else.
Nothing.
All right. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the site plan review as presented.
I'll second it.
We don't have a motion on the table. I have a question to discuss in the motion. The fire chief occupancy, did you already run through
I
that?
haven't got a permit yet, I'm just trying to get the approval first.
Yep.
And then get the, starting the process. I wanna do it this year, but
Yep.
I'm so busy right now.
Yep.
So I might have to wait till next year. So at least I got the approval now, and then I can move forward and start getting some numbers on how much it's gonna cost and all that. So I'll probably doing this winter, and then hopefully wait for the permit till 2023, because I've only got a year, right, to get the permit?
Year, but to renew is only $5.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So the fire chief process will go through the building permit process?
Yeah, he did
So
that with me. He
as
did
you're
that with me
applying-
with the pole barn.
As you're
So-
applying for the building permit, he will follow through the whole process,
So separate from site plan.
separate from site plan.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything planning can insist on, because it's already existing in the building permit.
I think it can, but
We can just be a provision of an
Yeah.
approval, you just gotta have the fire chief. I mean, Conway does that, they have like 30 things on the
Right.
list,
It's
they approve it.
the Conway chief that
Yes,
does this,
that's
right?
it.
Because he did the pole barn. Who's the bill inspector? Peter. Peter and I had got him to do get the approval for that one. But that one expires, because I never get the chance to put the roof on, so I'm gonna have to resubmit another permit.
I think you can just renew it, you don't have to.
We just,
resubmit
we know,
another.
okay. Yeah, I was wondering why I needed the fire chief to approve for a roof. I didn't understand that
The whole
part.
process is commercial, so.
Yeah, okay. Even though if it was just a roof? I mean, I was okay with it, I was just
Any
curious.
building permit,
Gotcha.
commercial, will have to go
Yeah.
through the fire chief.
Because we're probably gonna need them anyways, because it's probably gonna be propane heat. I'm not sure if I'm doing propane, I'm doing radiant heat yet.
I don't think you can win either way.
Right? Hopefully things start going down a little bit.
Should make that accept and approve.
And there's also power on the site.
We never
Motion
voted,
to
we
accept
never,
Make a motion to approve it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, make it-
Yeah,
Instead of accept, make it approve.
Okay, so Kathy Gould made a motion to approve the site plan review of RCC Incorporated as presented with the provision that prior to construction, the approval from the fire chief is granted. That approval from the fire chief is granted. Agreed. Curtis Coleman seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Site plan review is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I can proceed.
Yeah.
Good.
Um,
Thanks, guys.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Good luck.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Now build the building so we can get the tax dollars.
Yeah.
Let's go. Lower our
Do you have
tax
a
base.
Do you have a card?
Yes, I go outside.
And I'm gonna close the public hearing at 7:05. Oh, sorry.
Nope.
You did not have one more question? You did?
No, I'm all set.
Because I can reopen it. No? Okay.
I requested air conditioner in here.
It's gonna be in the budget this year, I promise.
You wait for my bill to go up, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna pay
Gotta put a unit in here. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna.
See you later.
I'll be outside.
Rich, one,
Yes.
the sign.
Oh, I owe you $7, right?
Yep. And then this goes to the
Yep.
select board.
Yes.
Type off for the permit.
So I can pass it to the
If you
select
want to
board.
read this
Okay.
for the rest
Yeah, if
of
you
the-
don't
The
mind.
application too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I gotta fill out the application.
Fill out the
Okay,
application.
Kelly sent me,
Take that
Kelly
and-
sent me something,
Okay.
to
This is
fill
your
out.
Put it all
original?
together.
I know, I got a copy.
Okay.
And you can keep
This
it.
one's stay here. Okay.
And I'm just, $7 you said?
Give it to Kelly.
Give it to Kelly? Okay. I'll stop by tomorrow and give it to Kelly.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thank
it's a
you.
long ride home, so we'll leave.
Aw.
It's only $7.
This is not
I
gonna
I
be
know the
traffic
feeling.
on 95.
When I go to meetings
Fees.
at home, I like to
Just
sit.
a
I know.
Okay. Thank you.
He's just
Thank you for traveling. I thought maybe you were coming up and staying for a while.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good night.
Have a
Take
good
care.
night.
Thank you. All right. Check. All right. So this is something coming back from a long time ago. Um, So it's basically final approval of the Mylar. So this was all, I gotta pull up the notes on that, but yeah. Bear with me for a minute. Yes, Jim Ryan's Horizon.
The famous town road built to town specs, but it can't ever be a town road.
Never.
And that's my main question when we get to the actual thing. Conditions of approval, there's a bit in here about it becoming town road or
It
something.
can't ever become a town road.
So please read that carefully and let me know if that meets what you think is acceptable. Okay.
Didn't it have something to do with the turnaround, because a emergency vehicle can turn
well.
around in the.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, all the specs were just terrible. Well, they're very outdated. So, but the biggest thing was, yeah, I mean, the whole thing about this was just at that point there was a lot of not wanting to add a town road. So they built it very well, and there's a cul-de-sac. Yeah, I'm going backwards, right? So, this is it. So, yeah, they shifted the cul-de-sac due to some conditions. It's very wet and whatnot. But at the time, I think it was the Goldmans.
Yep.
They agreed that they would never have it as a town road, and
That's the developer.
yes, that was the property owner and developer. Yes. So that's why it's kind of unique, because
It was built to town road.
it was built town road spec
No.
and it's a great road, but at the point there was a lot of opposition for being a town road, and they agreed to it not ever being a town road.
And initially it was gonna be a 5-lot subdivision, and they went through the planning board process and waivers after waivers, and then came back and changed it again to 3 lots and had to get all the waivers all over again. But if if I'm incorrect or correct, that does state they could meet the conditions to ask for it to be a town road. If he sells and someone else buys it and says, I want it to be a
Yeah.
town road, those conditions, if they are met, they can apply to the town to be a town road.
see.
What year was this closed?
It's 2008.
Yeah.
There really isn't much here about the town road access, more than just the standard.
Wasn't there one something about town road over in the notes to the right?
Conditions of approval.
Yeah. There was some mention something town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it talks about it. It does leave it open more than I thought that it would have.
So-
And that wasn't the intent of this board. To me, I have no problem
I
with it
agree.
at all. I mean,
I agree.
I mean, a little background, Sean. I mean, I was a road agent in 2008,
Yeah.
and that's why I was so involved with it. And, I mean, as a board member, I have no problem with this if they ever brought it to someone to be a town road, because it's a very well-built road.
Mhm.
So I always thought it was a different approach from the board at that time to require that, but, so none of that bothers me. I mean,
What does that read as?
it just reads that as long as as long as an engineer will certify that this was built under the standards at the time in 2008, then they could go to the town, petition the town to actually take it over as a town road in the town meeting or a special meeting.
Mhm.
And that's how I read it. So,
I agree.
And what is, well, I want to read through what I have from Mr. Burns. But if there's nothing written about this agreement to never have it be a town road, then
We'd have to research the minutes back to 2008.
right. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm comfortable with how this is written. I mean, it's a private road right now. If for them to make it a town road, they'd have to do all the things I just said. So there's process there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But to me, if there's 1, 2, 3 property owners here and there's millions of dollars of valuation, they have every right in the world to come to the town, and
Mm-hmm.
if it meets the town standards at the time, and I mean, if it meets the whole protocol,
yeah, yep.
they have that right. So I wouldn't take it away from them. So
And this is notice of decision that was sent. So I can read through this. This was from July 13th, 2011. So that's when all this rolled on, right?
well, I have on here it says July 23, 2008. Certification is planned.
That was probably the first one. 5,
It went on for a long time.
1, 2, 3 lots. Oh, that's a 3 lot.
Let me start at
It,
the top
the
here.
original.
Right. Wasn't part of it too?
I don't think so.
No?
No. This was.
So map 7, lot 92, the Goldman subdivision.
What?
That's all.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said you did.
No, Ned.
So Jim Ryan's was looking for the final plat at the Carroll County, and they didn't have it. So that's how this came up. Is that apparently they never submitted it, or they submitted it, never got filed. Who knows? But so as a result of looking for a recorded version of the Goldman subdivision plan, which I did not find, I looked to our find and found out why. I discovered we had not provided the planning board with some of the information contained in the subdivision approval, which included tax map 7, lot 92 at the time. While the road has long since been built and inspected by the town's engineer, the surety released and the tax map revised to show the new lots, I find no evidence that we ever provided the town with the monument certification required in condition number 3, or that as-built plans required in condition number 9. Accordingly, we provide you with the 2013 as-built plans this office prepared with a revision date of August 20th, 2021. that adds the monuments that had been set. We also provide a certification that the corners were set. It appears from our file that we provided the town with the Mylar on June 13th, 2011, but it includes a new Mylar that has the actual monument set to accompany the requested monument certification. Although no lots have been sold to third parties at this point, we wanted to make certain the town had all the requested information to close this file and satisfy all conditions so the Mylar can be recorded. So that's his letter just saying what this is. As a licensed surveyor, most involved with the project since 2006, and pursuant to the third condition listed in the Town of Albany notice decision dated July 13, 2011, I hereby attest that all monumentation shown on the conditionally approved plan has been installed by Kevin Ash, licensed land surveyor. And then this is the notice of decision from Town of Albany, and it might behoove us to read through this just to make sure we're not.
I'm just wondering why this says 2008 and there's no update to the date. Do you see 2011 on that at all?
Yeah.
2011?
Well, the New Hampshire DES wetland, the alteration of training was dated 7/5/2011. The wetland certs was 2010, which that's not unusual, and then
21.
that's an updated.
Yep. Okay.
I'm comfortable with
I'm
it.
comfortable with it too.
I mean, you know, I was literally there while it was built.
Being built,
Yeah, I mean, so it's.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with it all, as long as, you know, the White Mountain Survey, I
Yep.
do a job and.
So this is the notice of decision to conditionally approve the plan for a 3-lot subdivision formally accepted by the board on May 25th, 2011. Map 7, lot 92. The following conditions will be listed on the final subdivision plat to be signed and recorded. Based on the fact that the applicant has requested and received several waivers from the town's road construction design standards, the 50-foot right-of-way depicted on the subdivision plan shall only be used to provide access to the 3-lot subdivision, the lot which abuts the subdivision road currently owned by Monroe, and the lot located to the north owned by Judith Reardon and Peter Smart. B, Aviation Drive, as herein approved, may not be used for access for any more than one residence on each of the lots 1 through 3. One residence on map 7, lot 12, Reardon Smart, and one residence on map 7, lot 91, Monroe, until such time as the road has been reconstructed to comply with the then applicable road construction design standards of the Town of Albany, at which time it may provide access to more residences than those described herein. So that has happened. It was built to the then road standards. So they could subdivide further if they wanted to, according to this notice of decision. To the extent the road is reconstructed to comply with the then applicable road construction and design standards of the Town of Albany, prior to a vote by the Board of Selectmen to submit the subdivision road as a proposed town way to town meeting, a written certification signed by a professional engineer shall be submitted to the town certifying that the proposed town way meets or exceeds the then applicable road construction and design standards. If there are any underground utilities, the servicing utility shall certify in writing that they have been installed in a manner acceptable to the utility. So I think this C, when we sign this fills C, right? This is the submission of that. This is a written certification signed by a professional engineer submitted to the town certifying the proposed town way meets or exceeds then applicable road standards.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what that is saying over there in that note?
Here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Aviation rights included. No changes to the final plan unless the board approval. Prior to the sale of any lot, the applicant shall provide the board with a letter from a registered land surveyor stating that all monumentation shown on the approved plan has been installed. Applicant agrees to reimburse any costs. So this is 5. As a condition precedent to final approval, the applicant shall file with the planning board at the time of submission of the final plat a certified check payable to the town of Albany, or a faithful performance bond running to the town and issued by a surety company acceptable to the selectmen. I think that already happened.
Yes.
Yes. The surety, whereas now therefore performance bond. Applicant number 7, applicant or its designee shall meet with the town's road agent on site to inspect the aviation drive and agree on a plan to repair the existing roadway by removing rock stones that are heaving through the road surface. That was done. Yeah.
Yeah, with that, they're talking about, the lower part. They're not talking about aviation drive though.
Oh, down below it.
Yeah.
That goes into dirt now, I think.
What's that?
That goes into a dirt road now. I
No,
think.
no, it's
Is it paved all the way?
They repaved that section too, right before Ridgeview and all the way down to Bald Hill.
Oh, that part of the road, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they did work to.
I was meaning like once you get on the runway, the lot that goes down here.
Yeah,
this
so
one.
that's not really, this approval is for that, the upper part right there.
1,
right?
2, and 3.
Yeah.
And the access is that upper road with the little lollipop at the end.
Yeah. Yes, that.
No. So that's where there were some waivers and things like that.
Okay. This is just boundary line. This isn't road then.
That's road.
That is
That's driveways,
That's
yeah.
right
driveway.
Right away.
Right. That's the one I drove
it's
on.
basically
It's
for-
dirt. That's private.
It's basically for this lot right there.
And, applicant shall provide the planning board with as-built plan once complete. Once the applicant is satisfied, conditions 1, 4, 5, and 6, final approval will occur by signing the plat out of session and without scheduling a further public hearing pursuant to RSA 676:4I. So that's
So
us
you don't
now.
even,
That's where we are now.
so you don't even need our motion to approve because it's already been approved. You have everything here, so you just have to sign it.
We can sign it out of session. I was kind of thinking we maybe just take a vote to agree to sign it, just to have it
Make a
on the
motion to sign
record
the plat.
as presented.
As
I'll
presented.
second.
Yeah, okay. Just because it's been such a long time since this came up. Further discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright. There were no minutes from last month, but the prior month. June 13th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of June 13th.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And any further discussion business? Selectmen's report?
Selectmen, we are receiving our second tranche of our opera funds. We received additional highway block grant funds, which Curtis is going to take on another road or something or other before the end of the year.
Yep.
I'll probably have you in to discuss
Come Wednesday.
what you, oh, you are. So we'll discuss what the plans are for the roads and the additional money that doesn't come our way too often.
Which grant is it?
Highway block grant? And we just started talks with Conway Village Fire District for the upcoming renewal of our fire and ambulance contract. And a discussion of the possible dissolution of their precinct.
They may be
and what would happen for Albany. More to come. That's the highlights.
Is the town of Conway's fire and ambulance?
Conway Village Fire District.
Conway Village Fire District.
It is not the town of Conway. It's a separate entity.
Village, right, fire district. For ambulance and fire services.
And rescue, fire and rescue, and ambulance.
So you're not renegotiating a contract, you're just discussing, or you are?
So we're waiting for hard numbers to come in.
Yeah.
And we just had our first meeting with Chief Solomon.
Okay.
He didn't have solid numbers. He was going to meet with his commissioners and come back to us, but it was just kind of like a fact-finding meeting with him.
Okay. Okay. I'll write that up. Anything else? Hearing none.
Say it.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Alright. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried at 7:26.